morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Faith Builder. Happy Monday morning. We are in this series on the spiritual disciplines. I will be, for this week, looking at The Spirit of the Disciplines by Dallas Willard. It's one of my favorites. It's an amazing book if you haven't read it. And Dallas gives us two categories to look at the spiritual gifts: the disciplines of abstinence and the disciplines of engagement. The disciplines of abstinence are things like solitude, silence, fasting, things where we abstain from something. And then the disciplines of engagement are things like study, worship, service, etc. So this week I want to look at 5 key disciplines of abstinence. I want to start with the discipline of solitude. Now, what's real important here to understand is we all experience loneliness. And really, the only way to ultimately defeat loneliness is the practice and discipline of solitude. Because it's in solitude that we're going to really have to deal with our soul. And ideally, until we meet Christ there in that place, we never conquer loneliness and come into this born-again experience with the living God to realize we're never alone, that He is with us and will never leave us. And that's part of the glory of coming to know Christ, is this real reality that God is with us and He's given His Spirit to indwell us, that we may never be alone. The orphan spirit, the idea of not knowing where we belong, is forever taken care of when we come to Christ. So solitude is a key discipline, and it needs to be built into our regimen as such of spiritual disciplines. Many have said it is the key discipline that all the others hang on to. I just want to read a couple things for us this morning from Dallas that I think are really key. Solitude, he says, is choosing to be alone and to dwell on our experience of isolation from other human beings. Solitude frees us, actually. This, above all, explains its primacy and priority among the disciplines. The normal course of day-to-day human interactions locks us into patterns of feeling, thought, and action that are geared to a world set against God. Nothing but solitude can allow the development of a freedom from the ingrained behaviors that hinder our integration to God. So solitude is the way we break away from the patterns of the world and from our own thinking, getting drugged into the things of the world. And boy, everything going on right now, all the banter going on, everything that's going on in our nation right now, man, if we stay glued to all of that, our heart, our fear will take over, faith will disappear. We have to move ourselves, turn off the TV, turn off the news, turn off social media, and go to a place and let God refresh, right, our soul. Dallas says this also. He says, in solitude, we confront our own soul with its obscure forces and conflicts that escape our attention when we are interacting with others. We're forced to deal with ourselves. This solitude is a terrible trial, for it serves to crack open and burst apart the shell of our superficial insecurities. It is how God speaks to us, right, and changes us. Of all the disciplines of abstinence, solitude is generally the most fundamental in the beginning of the spiritual life, and it must be returned to again and again as that life develops. Many people are scared to be alone. They have to have a TV on, some kind of noise going on all the time. To develop godliness, to develop a walk with God, we must start with solitude. We must learn to be alone with God in our soul and allow our relationship and our heart and our soul, right, to talk to God. So I just give this to us in this busy, hectic world. More and more of us have less and less margin in life. And it is a discipline to put in their solitude, time alone with God, to refresh our soul. I hope that encourages you this morning. God bless.